Welcome to the Myth Inc. first commentary guide on the first heroic boss in Icecrown Citadel. This will be Marrogar, and we will be pointing out some tips and tricks. This is primarily geared to our guild, and in no way says that we are totally super awesome or perfect. Far from it, but we do have a lot of fun, so here we go. As with any heroic mode, damage increases on almost everything, and you definitely do not want to stand the fire. That's why you see most everyone stacking up behind the boss here. And there will always be bone spikes, and the key to this fight is to make sure bone spikes go down as quickly as possible. Anything that takes any longer will almost assuredly result in a death or a wipe. So as you can see, everything is standard, general tank and spank here. See our two tanks, Exiled and Sam Adams, moving left and right together in concert, sharing the cleave damage. I do have to say though, in this recording here, that the bone spikes tended to not go down as quickly as we would have liked. And as you can see, there's a mage in that bone spike and fire, and he died. So getting those bone spikes down, especially since in heroic mode, bone spikes and bone storms do go out at the same time, that is the key to this fight. If you can master just this one part of the fight, then this first heroic boss is definitely easier. And as you can see here, sometimes in melee it's tough to get those bone spikes down, especially if everybody's spread out. So you definitely do want to pop some cooldowns to make sure that you don't take too much damage from the fire, Cloak of Shadows, etc., etc. And then you just go back to the back of the boss and resume DPS. And then you'll see quick battle res on our mage, Goth, and resuming. And I will say that in this fight, range DPS tends to be more important than melee, only because during bone storms and bone spikes, range DPS does have an advantage of being able to attack the bone spikes quicker and being able to avoid the fire damage. So if your group is stacked heavy melee, this may present a small problem. We also noticed that spreading out too far during the bone storms does tend to make healing very difficult. So if you see the inner half circle of this room is where generally you want everybody to stay. Anything that's spread further out, like for example towards the door or towards the sides, means that you will not get extra healing. So just a word of caution. And there's the second bone spike there. That one went down relatively quickly. And another danger here, this person may be caught in a bone storm, fire, and bone spike, which causes them too much damage and is dead. Other than that, this fight is very, very simple as long as each individual classes know their jobs and abilities. Obviously, healers, you don't want to let the tank die, and also you do not want to stack all your healers on one side of the room. You want to make sure your healers split and spread out evenly during the bone storm. You also want to make sure range that their top priority is the bone spikes, and you definitely want to make sure that those bone spikes go down as fast as possible. I found as melee that just AoEing the bone spikes down so far is not effective. Definitely most melee should switch over and help burn those bone spikes as fast as possible. And as with any type of whirlwind, you definitely want to stay away, because that bone storm hurts. Fainting does work, and so do other cooldowns that minimize that AoE ability. But as you can see here, I'm not that cool. Although I do pop as a rogue Cloak of Shadows just to help minimize that fire damage when I'm attacking those bone spikes in the fire. We were one healer down. This is definitely too healable in the 10-man. Let me emphasize that this is a 10-man video. Although many other fights can be learned to apply to 25-man. So it is too healable. We do use 3 healers in our 10-man for this boss just because that Bone Storm is just so healing intensive. Especially if you get the bad 3, the Bone Storm, the Bone Spike, and the Fire on one person at the same time. Our raid composition is entitled of a 1 Prot Warrior, 1 Prot Pally, 1 Holy Priest, 1 Resto Shaman, and 1 Resto Druid. And then our DPS generally comprises of the 5, which will be 1 Rogue, Mutilate, 1 Ret Paladin, 1 Mage, he's Arcane, and 1 Hunter, and he is Marksman. This is done so that we can... Oh, and sorry, 1 Elemental Shaman. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, good luck in Icecrown.